Hey, Camden.
Hey, Dwayne, how's it going?
Going great. How about you?
Not too bad. Just at the market, grabbing some breakfast.
Okay, cool.
What are you up to today?
Just on the highway. I've got an appointment here in about an hour that hopefully going to close some pretty significant business moving forward for the next 12 months. So, yeah, that's what I'm up to right now. Just on the road.
Glad to hear it. Well, I got some questions from the Facebook group that I just wanted to ask you.
Sure.
And this first question actually connects to your book, Unstoppable Selling, about trends.
Yep.
And I wanted to know if you notice any trends in the sales world that you think that some salespeople should be taking advantage of.
Yeah, absolutely. I talk about this a lot, actually. So what's happening in all industries, with smartphones in particular, a lot of people aren't spending a lot of time on their personal computers. That industry is actually kind of dying, is that people have the ability to do research at any point in time in front of you, in the car just before they pull in bed, when they wake up in the morning. So what's happening is, no matter what business you're in, I think everybody's got to realize when the customer contacts us, they are way more transaction ready than they've ever been. And if you don't really be on your game and on point right from the very first engagement, whatever that's going to be, it could be a text or an email or a phone call or face-to-face, you're now moving backwards in the sale. So customers got lots of momentum before they contact you. You just don't want to make any mistakes. The less mistakes you make, the more likely that momentum is going to continue right through until you are able to complete that transaction. So that would be my biggest thing. And then, of course, analyze your sales process and make sure you're not doing things physically or psychologically redundant for your customer, because people, they know the attention spans for it. And if you're not relevant, they start tuning out.
So that's actually very interesting, because then we get into this kind of weird area with technology where people are wondering whether or not salespeople will kind of still be around, because if the customer is extremely educated, in certain ways, like a lot of salespeople are concerned that if the customer is too educated, they might be out of the job. What's your take on that? Do you think certain things like the customer being more educated when they go into a buy could potentially replace a lot of salespeople in the future?
I don't try to get involved in any self-talk on anything I can't control. So if any industry is trending towards, whatever, moving left, moving right, upsizing, downsizing, just in the space that you're in, control everything that you can control so you can take advantage of the weaknesses in your competitors and, be the most productive with whatever time you have for as long as you've got it. And if you're on your game and you're paying attention, things in life generally don't shut off, they move. So you're just going to shift. You're going to shift over to whatever part of, your business requires attention by a human being. We can look at lots of examples where the human element has increased or decreased over time. I don't even care. I really don't. Quite frankly, I don't care. I like change because I know most people, they're not into adapting. They're stuck. They're fearful. They're lazy. I'm not any of those things. So I consider myself very flexible and adaptable, and I don't care. And there's always human beings that we're selling stuff to at the end point.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the numbers of where the people are might change through the distribution channel, but you're going to find employment. And if you follow the processes of self-development and personal development, and those are processes every day, you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, so basically all that matters is right now, the present, and what you can do, because you really can't predict the future anyways.
100, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, well said. Yeah.
So you had mentioned that you're on your way to another meeting, and every single time that I talk to you, you have to be probably one of the hardest working people I know. Like, you're constantly either flying somewhere or taking calls. And how do you avoid burnout? Like, are there any rituals or any things you enjoy doing that you would like to share to help other people deal with the day-to-day stress of business?
Absolutely. This could be a separate podcast all by itself, so I'll go through this pretty quickly. So first off, there's only two sources of pain, if you want to call it, or pleasure, and it's physical, and it's psychological. So I like to always chunk things down into simple terms and then build things back up and then chunk things back down to make sure I understand it. So you've got to look at things clearly and objectively. So when I talk about, stress, or you talk about stress or burnout, on the psychological side, there's eustress, which is a euphoria. It's a rush, and it's sort of that feeling that you're winning or getting ahead, and it releases endorphins.
The fun stuff.
The fun stuff. And then there's distress, which is, generally a cortisol dump, which makes you feel, not great. It's not good for you physically or mentally. So I really do like what I do, and if I'm having a day where I don't think I like what I'm doing, I try to find something in it that's either going to help me grow or expand or help somebody, because I lean towards the eustress side a lot. So I really try to always discern for myself, and it's not permanent. I mean, I get a lot of distress as well, but overall, look at things in life being sort of 80-20. I'd say 80% of the time, I'm trying to control things and do things that are keeping me in that eustress. And that eustress thing will never lead to burnout. It actually leads to more energy, because burnout, continuing on with the physical side, which is what I'm attacking here, is your adrenal glands they can't keep up. And what causes adrenal fatigue? Generally speaking, lack of rest. So make sure you sleep. Too much caffeine will make your adrenals constantly pump. They can only go for so long before they're gonna give out. And too much distress. So you're trying to avoid adrenal fatigue is what actually happens when you quote unquote burn out and hit a wall and just can't go on any further. Now, on the physical side, I take very, very good care of my body. This morning I got up at 3:30. I went to bed at 8:30, knowing I had a long day with the drive and the meeting. So I went to bed at 8:30. You got to get your sleep. If you can't get your sleep, you better learn to meditate. I meditate twice a day. The meditations that I do, they're 20 minutes long. People say, well, how do you find the time to do that? And I got funny analogies. And this is exactly what I'll tell people when they ask me. I'll say, okay, let me ask you a question. If you suddenly had what you felt was going to be explosive diarrhea, I don't care if you're in church, in your car, in a plane, or walking down the street, you're going to find some place to go for 15 or 20 minutes to take care of that. You're just not going to go, I don't have time, and shit in your plane seat. I literally approach this kind of stuff and those two meditations with that level of urgency. I'm going to make it happen, either on lunch, before work, after work, when I get home. I'm going to get, generally speaking, 99% of the time, 10 or 20 minutes by myself to do a transcendental meditation, relaxation, and then I do another meditation, which is relaxing, but it's me going through about 35 or 40 principles on how I want to live my life. And I'm going to keep going, because now that leads to something. The TM, the Transcendental Meditation, is going to restore and rejuvenate my body and my rest and give me really almost like crammed amounts of sleep during the day. It's like cramming for a test. You can cram for your sleep. They've proven that style of meditation is more restful than deep sleep. Yeah. So that allows me to go at a little bit further, longer pace. And the other one, where I go through my principles, which is actually at the back of my Unstoppable Attitude book, I go through what those are. It keeps me focused on the stuff that I feel is important in my life, to me and the people that I care about. So as Stephen Covey would say, I'm putting the big rocks in first. I'm always focusing on my big rocks. When the little stuff comes along, I'll deal with it, but I know why I'm doing what I'm doing every day. So that's the basics there. The other thing, Cam, just to kind of finish this off, is people have to learn how to say no to things. If something doesn't fit with my goals and gratitudes, which I have written down, I look at them every day on the inside of my wallet, I rewrite them, at least once a quarter. If something doesn't fit with my goals and gratitudes, then for me, it's probably not good use of my time. So you've got to learn to say no. You can always reassess and say, hey, that was interesting, I'll keep thinking about it, I'll revisit. You don't have to reject people. But learning to say no, if you don't take care of yourself, you got nothing to give everybody else, your clients, family, friends, or whatever else. Learn how to be organized. Girard really emphasized that and taught me that. When I saw his office at his home, and he was talking about how he did what he did to get to be the Guinness World Book of Record salesperson, and one of the biggest thing, the man is organized beyond belief, even now coming into his late 80s. His office looked like a surgery room. I mean, it looked like he was going to do surgery. So if you're not organized, you're spending lots of time looking for stuff that you shouldn't be looking for. That's a waste of time. That's a lot of distress because you can't find it. And so organization to me is key. I'm constantly going over my planners and my travel schedule and my meetings and what do I need to do. And I'm extremely organized. I live off of to-do lists. I love the satisfaction of stroking stuff off my daily to-do list. And the last thing is to learn to delegate and ask for help if you need it. That can be hard. We often think we're the only people that can do something. That's not true. There's always somebody that can either help you out or delegate if you're a big company, a small company, and some people just hold everything way too tight. So, that's it. It's physical, it's psychological. Eat well, hydrate, breathe. I talk about that all the time. That will lead to physical exhaustion if you're a little bit dehydrated or a lot dehydrated, or if you're starving oxygen and your nutrition's not in line. I look at myself like a warrior, man. I think business and life is a game. I wouldn't say a battle because that brings the wrong energy to it. I think it's a game. I don't like losing, and I play it like a sport. I play it physically and psychologically like a sport. The exact same tools I've learned my whole life in various athletic arenas, I bring to my business at a level I never brought to sports. If I would have brought these set of tools every day to different athletic endeavors I was involved in, there's no doubt I would have done, and I did well, but I would have done a lot better. But, I found my passion. I love what I do. I love helping people. I get paid well to do it, which, sometimes I pinch myself. I can't believe. But you need to write this stuff down and look at it every day until your habits start to morph. And I didn't do all these things in one day. Some of this stuff I've been working on for 20 years. But as you get certain habits in place, once you've got them, the next habit's easy to do because you're not worried about changing at all. So you've got to baby step into these things. But habit is a wonderful thing. A lot of people look like habits like it's bad. No. If you got great habits, it's tremendous. And these are my habits. I do these things I just talked about every day. And I never teach something I don't do because it's hypocritical and I can't talk about it deeper if somebody wanted to drill down. So everything that I talk about here, on everything I do, all my books, courses, whatever, it's stuff that I actually can do and do basically on a daily basis.
Wow, yeah, this is I really feel like I really needed this call today, even just for myself. Like you had mentioned, the eustress and basically trying to focus and do the things that kind of give you that rush and that high, or like what you were texting me this morning about staying in my lane, things like building a team and being more organized. These are certain things that I'm starting to work on, like even when I go to my house. I've gotten into the habit of hanging my jacket up when in the past I just kind of just throw it on the couch and just certain things just certain things like that. So, and also realizing that, as much as I do care about my business and about my life and things like that, I do have to let go of control of certain areas and kind of find people who can do just kind of find people who can do certain jobs that need to be done better than I can, so I can focus on the stuff that I'm really good at, so we can get better results, and just like being a warrior and kind of just recruiting the right people and treating my body and mind just kind of like how a samurai would treat their body and mind. So this is it's just bang on.
That comment, staying in your lane, right? Like that's important. We have to know our strengths and our weaknesses, and our goals and gratitudes help us focus on that stuff. And people that want to help you out, there's lots of people that will help you just to be able to put what you're doing maybe on their resume. Maybe they need that, so you won't even have to pay them or not pay them a lot. Or people might love you or like you a lot and they've got some time in their hands and want to support you during some of your peak areas when you're busy. Or sometimes you got to hire somebody or bring somebody in as a subcontractor. And you've got lots of services across the world in the Philippines and so on, depending what you need. You don't have to pay North American full-time wages on either for short-term things. And there's just so many options now with technology that's out there for so many things that we do. And you have to recognize life has seasons. So I'm coming into right now, and I've kind of, decided to do that. My kids are older. I'm coming into probably my busiest 5 years, my next 5 years that I've ever had. I've ramped that up on purpose. I'm ready to really expand in a whole bunch of areas. And I'm not going to get into burnout, but it's going to be a busy 5 years, much more so. And I've been extremely busy than maybe, any other experience in the past. But it's life has seasons. If you look at a farmer, a lot of analogies there. Sometimes you're just going to be busier than you want to be. That's okay. You use some of these tools, you get yourself through that. When it slows down a little bit, you can pull back and take a break. And I do take breaks. I will take a day off. I'll go to the beach. I'll do a couple of days down south. I do take some time off to recharge. I think everybody has to do that too.
Awesome. Well, Dwayne, we're heading into 15 minutes, so wow. I guess we'll end it here. It was a really passionate call, and I just want to thank you for hopping on the phone with me and, like always, texting me and letting me know what I need to improve on or kind of seeing where I've dropped the ball a bit. So I always appreciate, your guidance and mentorship on these things. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Kevin. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
How many sales a month do you or your sales team miss because of ineffective skills, stale habits, or bad attitudes? What if you had a secret way to make up just half of those lost sales per month every month? Merino TV is your secret. It's the #1 online sales training program in the automotive industry, dedicated to building attitudes and skills that result in unstoppable results. Our virtual distance learning is designed specifically to help sales managers, sales professionals, F&I managers, and service advisors increase their production, as Merino TV offers over 3,000 video sales training chapters for all levels of skill. Let Merino TV show you step by step how to deal with today's educated and transaction-ready buyer in person, on the phone, over live video, or by email. If you're ready to have your sales soar and your stress drop, call 1-888-735-6275 or visit DwayneMarino.com or buy our books, Unstoppable Attitude, Unstoppable Selling, and Unstoppable Money on Amazon now.